Yeah, there were definitely some times where I saw where they weren't able to make this whole draft work out for them because we are about to move into the picks and bans here for game number 2. Do you think they need to make an adjustment here? Because Jose, I don't know if we got enough out of that raw. There was that fight on the tier 2 tower in duo where they actually get a really good Unbot ult from JhoX, and there's just no follow-up from it. Is that because they're behind, the pick, the build? What did you see?
They had some good components, but it just didn't seem like the execution was there from Insomnia, whether it's land nerves or just not really a comp that they practice all that often. It felt like there were some great single pieces that compose this Insomnia draft overall, but in the end, you can't have just the Humbots and the Odin and expect those to be enough to carry you through a match, especially not when you're against the level of competition that InControl is bringing.
Well, they're already making some very strong adjustments here. Are Insomnia banning away the Bakasura this time, not going to let Rygaklu have that one. They're picking the Terra for themselves, though that does mean that the Freya makes it through. That's going to be the first selection for InControl on the right-hand side. But are these the kind of adjustments you wanted to see from Insomnia? I mean, the Cerberus is still out there and could be picked up. They grabbed the Terra for themselves, so it was good to take that one away. But, I mean, at the very beginning, does this feel like enough from Insomnia?
We're not the players, Finch, and so if they really think that Bakasura was the problem, I can semi-understand that. I do feel like Rygaklu was having a lot of freedom maneuvering throughout that backline and just looking for those single target picks onto Jose, so maybe the thought process here for Insomnia is possibly hoping to alleviate some of that pressure from the dive. We talked about it even before Game 1 broke out, that it felt like InControl we're going to just be looking to harass the backline even of Insomnia.
Right, and that's exactly what we saw from them in that game, right? Rygaklu did a good job. Whenever the front line from Insomnia would commit, he would just jump right by them. So they'll take that Bakasura out and try and force InControl to get it done another way. Now Insomnia rounding out that first half of the pick ban phase with the Jing and the Zeus. They're going back to the Jing, clearly something that OhMyJhox is comfortable on if they want to prioritize this. Remember, he did have the almost 1v1 man fight over there in duo lane, and then the Athena kind of came in and changed it, so he wants to go back to that one again, but this time they'll have Zeus.
Still not certain, though, whether that would have been a free solo kill for Outbound or not. I think that even without the damage mitigation from the Athena ultimate, that ricochet, because it was only the single bounce, wouldn't have actually been enough. He missed the auto attack afterwards. I think that the Hunters could have possibly even traded out with each other, but that auto falling a little bit far off to the right there is the main reason. All that aside now, game 2, you always got to get your revenge, right?
That's exactly it, right? You go back to it and try and see if you can win that 1v1 one more time, as this time the Zeus will be here. So I think Insomnia will not be wanting for damage out of that mid lane role. And for what it's worth, Jose did do decent damage. I just wonder if it couldn't have been more had it been another pick. This time there will be no wondering. Zeus will bring plenty of damage.
Well, that's the hope here, at least for Insomnia. I'm still a little bit worried here because looking at Terra Jing Wei, if that's meant to be the dual lane for Insomnia, then that could pose some problems, at least in terms of early game. It felt like Insomnia were kind of lacking that early game department. They started off hot with the level 2 gank and getting that Humbot's first blood, but what's to stop InControl from just looking to poke out the Terra and Jing Wei consistently? I think the Freya, Artio, or could it possibly even be Freya Erlang here, but I almost want to see this Erlang Shen in the jungle instead.
Oh, I absolutely do. I'm right there with you, Taco. Erlang Shen is such a powerhouse right now. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen them put a little bit more focus on this pick, but InControl will have it now, along with the Freya, along with the Agni that XCovi has already shown he can play very, very well, and the Artio to cause some disruption. So far, InControl's draft looks very good. But Insomnia have kind of cleaned up some areas where they had some problems, right? They have the Xing who can fill a lot of the same roles as the Cerberus. They've got the Ravana who has some dive potential here as well. Is these enough here for them in these Game 2 picks and bans to adjust from Game 1? As now the Chulainn comes through as well, a lot of priority picks for InControl.
It's just who's meant to kill Freya and Agni from Insomnia. That can't solely be the duty of this Ravana Zeus. I don't think that Zeus is really going to have much freedom to try and spam his cooldowns onto InControl. And it feels a little bit problematic here, Finch, honestly. I think that Insomnia are in a sense, outdrafting themselves. I don't think that they're paying as much mind as they should be towards responding to InControl's pressure.
It feels like a lot of pressure, I would say, is on Digit, and like you said, onto Jox as well, on this Robin, right? Because you have to force out the Agni dash, you have to force out the Valkyrie's discretion, or there is no way, you know, to get to the Freya and the Agni. So it's between those two to sort of strike that balance, get those abilities on cooldown, so then you can bring in the Zeus, the Jing way to finish it off towards the end.
It just feels like they have some great parts again. You've got Zeus, Xing, and the Robin, but I'm just not sure how this Jingwei and Terra really shape up into the draft, because Jingwei, not exactly an ideal hunter for all that follow-up that you'd normally be expecting. And I think that if they're not able to capitalize and find a kill immediately in some of these teamfight engagements, then they're just going to fall victim towards a similar path of how Game 1 went.
Yeah, they should be in a better spot, I would say, maybe in terms of like lane pressure, right? I mean, the Xing-Cullen matchup, Xing should be able to hold his own. I don't know about this duo lane, though, with Freya over there and what's looking like Artio now. They'll likely get bullied. How do you see the actual pressure in those matchups going? And I guess just real quick here, who do you think is going to be able to grab this one?
I'm really liking InControl's draft for this one. They've got such a steady flow of pressure at all points of the match that I just have a lot of worries here for Insomnia to not fall behind early on.
Let's see if Insomnia can get it done. InControl want to take this one 2-0, and Insomnia want to force their way to a Game 3. Let's get it over to the casters for the action.
Thank you so much, Finch and Finch and Taco, I should say. Apologies. InControl up 1-0, and Taco actually favoring InControl here to take the victory with their draft. Aggro. Honestly, Insomnia's draft isn't bad either here. I do like it.
No, it's certainly one that could work, but at the same time, man, I don't know. InControl looked so good in the last game. Shaolin's on an even more aggressive lane this time around. Outbound's playing Freya. Rygaklu got Erlang Shen. Those two gods might be the best two gods in the game right now. I don't know. Insomnia's got an uphill battle.
Will be, well, I was going to say 2 warriors in the jungle, but Ravana, now classed as an assassin, both starting off with the blink this time as well. So I'm expecting to see some aggression out of those two at the start of this game as we tune into the solo lane slapfest we used to see.
This is what you expect in this matchup, at least early on. Shaolin probably will start bullying sooner rather than later. As soon as he gets that rage form, specifically is when he'll really start to take the fight to Digit and take it pretty well, especially with the start that Chulainn is going for. The boots 2 into the teleport back and get your boots 3 rush as soon as possible, something that FineOK has done a lot of in the SPL, one that has really become adopted by a lot of the aggressive solo laners. Benji and Aquarius did it quite a bit as well.
Blinking mid lane straight away from Rygaklu and Jose, who's not playing raw. Instead, this time Zeus will be a casualty of war at the start of this game. The respawn first blood goes the way of InControl.
Xcovi holds the dash, doesn't need it. Perfect positioning by him and a perfect blink by Rygaklu. Looks like Detonate was picked up at level 2 by Jose. Gotta be getting Chain Lightning at level 2. Maybe you get out of that danger, or at least force Xcovi to dash if you turn and slow both of your opposition. Detonate doesn't do you any good at level 2.
I think he was dead either way, in all fairness, in that position.
Almost certainly, yes.
But you can definitely look at the, the leveling of abilities and go, maybe if this was the case, it was a slighted better chance. Let's have a little back at the first blood, all started up by Rygaklu.
Rygaklu with the perfect blink in. This is what Erlang Shen does to you. I mean, how much option does Jose really have? But you just can't be hugging that right side wall, because that's where the junglers are going to be coming from. Exactly. If he's on left side wall, then Rygaklu blinks and still has to go a little bit at least to hit you.
Maybe a little bit of overconfidence, thinking Jox was going to be there to support as well, or like he'd be ahead of the time, but he's still hogging the wall again. This time though, because Jox is around here. Chain Lightning does connect for a second onto Xcovi in that mid lane. Once again though, the mid laners both going for this Book of Tothrush.
I think it's correct to do on Zeus because he doesn't need Mage's Blessing too much, and it sets him up to get Book of the Dead later on, which is the sustain and support that he really needs. Yeah. Exactly, yeah, to try and keep himself alive. So I like the Book Rush on Zeus. As I said, I think Agni is personal preference at this point. I think that Mage's Blessing and Book 1 or Tiny Trinket 1, depending on what you want to build, is totally fine. Book 2 is also great.
Well, it's once again an interesting start this time. InControl with the first blood. Last game it was Insomnia who got off to a better start overall. Jox was a little bit ahead of the curve of Rygaklu, but I think it's also down to God decisions as well in the jungle that have influenced this.
It is, and that's where this Erlang Shen aggressiveness is going to fit so well with what InControl is doing. I mean, he's already off to a lead, invading back camps. I mean, this is exactly what you want Rygaklu to be doing, and he's certainly got a type in the jungle. Doesn't even mean the Bakasura that can invade and play aggressive early on, the Erlang Shen, and Jox is a type, he likes to go and gank duo around.
And they're looking for Outbound here. A lot of pressure. The fists come out, but a beautiful whoop out from Outbound. Gets him away from the danger. Meanwhile, XCovi combining with Rygaklu in the mid lane. Managed to take down Jose for the second time.
Oh, disaster for Insomnia. I mean, there's one thing you do against Freya when you attack her and she doesn't have ultimate, and that's don't get double or triple whooped. It is the only way that Freya ever survives these sorts of ganks, and there, Beast and Jox just stand on top of each other and end up getting peeled at the same time.
Bit surprised though that Kino didn't pop the beads, or we didn't see. Sorry, Kino didn't pop the sprint there to allow his team to continue the chase. They had the potential ult for ult trade in the solo lane, but Shaolin overextended and in a world of hurt because Jose has now made a rotation. He's used his beads defensively because he's worried about Shaolin going all the way in. Digitbloze gets the kill for Insomnia.
Yeah, good rotation from both Jose and Jox on that right-hand side to punish Shaolin for proxying a little bit too early. Remember, he's got no protection. It's literally just Warrior Tabi is all he has in the items department, at least at that point. So good rotation over. The bead's probably a bit unnecessary.
So far, though, Insomnia have done okay in this dual lane of not being pressured too much, but mid lane's a different story! The bombs rain down from hell, not heaven! And Rygaklu picks up one, XCovi the other.
So, again, standing on top of one another is probably not your best way to succeed.
Against big circles, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe small circles in the form of whoop. I mean, we already learned it in the small circle, now we learned it in the big circle. There aren't any medium circles they have to learn that for, is there?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're going to have to run into them so far if they can't avoid the small or the big.
That's true. You just kind of assume that they don't have that under control there.
Bit more pressure coming out again from InControl is Outbound now looking at Kino, who's very low on mana, but enough for this wall. The bad news is he got knocked up at the same time by Beast, so he avoided the damage. However, Joltak's going to go down first here. Kino soon to follow thanks to Rygaklu's rotation on the Erlang. 5-2 is the scoreline. InControl with well, actually, he is a 3,000 gold lead at 5 minutes in.
That is rough. Digit picks up Shaolin, and Shaolin tanking tower the whole time gets soloed by Digit. Well played there in the solo lane by Insomnia.
Yeah, Shaolin's kind of showing me that he's not really played against much Jing 10 recently, because Jing 10 is definitely a different world of her. Outbound will get the whoop off again. Some sustain with his first basic attack, but Beast will claim the life of the overextended Hunter player from InControl.
What I was going to say before that solo kill on the right is that that dual lane fight is pretty good there by Kino and Beast.
Yeah, it was.
2v2, that was well played by both Kino and Beast. Quick on the ultimate from Kino, can't hesitate there. Beast had a great knock-up, was accurate with the auto attacks to bring down Joltak. So Insomnia definitely can play. It's just that the mid lane has been really bullied so far by XCovi and Rygaklu. Digit, despite getting that solo kill, has kind of been on the back foot since we loaded into game one.
Jox in the jungle going to get knocked up and eat half his health already. 2 levels down, and the bomb from XCovi does enough damage for Rygaklu again to pick up another kill. 4-0 and 2 involved in every kill is the jungler of InControl.
And what do you do against an Erlang Shen that's level 8 and 4-0 and 2 at this point in the game? And the answer is not a whole lot. And you can't really stay away from him because he's going to walk at you.
That's fair.
In your jungle all game long, as he should. There's just very little that you can really respond with. You have to have a big rotation over if you're going to kill Rygaklu here, because he can 1v1 or 2v1 just about anybody on your team.
Well, wards are also an issue for Insomnia. They've only got a couple on the left-hand side of the map, but the middle area has literally nothing. And meanwhile, InControl have deep wards around the red buff and the back harpies. And like you said, Jose has met a Chulainn on the left-hand side of the map. And as you'd expect, Rygaklu's there to blink over the wall and make sure he assists.
Get that assist gold, baby. Red buff spawns, but enough people here from Insomnia to force InControl off of it. Bomb stun lands on a 2 coming out of XCovi, but Digit not deterred.
Yeah, in goes Digit. Good ultimate on towards Joltak, but Joltak's still alive. He is a tank after all. Jox will go on with the ultimate secure. It sins. May die to the tick damage. No, he'll survive just about. And Kino has to run away after Jox gets the kill. He'll pay with his life. 2 for 1. Once again, in favor of the North Americans InControl.
Oh, Kino can't be there, my guy. It's a double kill, but XCovi does get
no
bounced.
damage.
There's no damage coming out Jose, and when you look at the level, it makes a lot of sense. My man is level 6.
4 levels down. And this is what I was kind of expecting from Insomnia here, because I looked at the dual lane, and yeah, they did okay. You know, Beast and Kino getting ganked. I think it's time to leave Beast on his own, and Kino, Jox, and Jose really need to just group in mid and stay as a little unit now. Sure, there'll be three-way sharing experience, but you're a lot safer being around two other teammates the entire time.
Exactly. You're totally right. Jose needs that level of protection, especially with his tier 1 tower already dead. Just 8 minutes in. I mean, it hurts to lose your tower on any mid laner, but on Zeus in particular, man, it is really difficult to stay safe without that tower there to try and protect you. So instead, you probably need your support there to protect you.
Well, the Gold Fury is available for InControl to look towards, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do with this level leads. They're going to burst it down relatively quick. Agni, pretty damn good at doing a lot of damage to that Gold Fury, and not really the easiest secure or contest from Insomnia in this composition they're running.
Jose does have good damage, but
if he's got levels, he's got a good damage.
Exactly, and it's not instant either, as Kino stuck in the purple buff. Bombs are there from Xcovi. Xcovi does need to use the dash, but he gets the kill.
Feels like the heads are starting to drop of Insomnia, whereas InControl are really just starting to route through Insomnia and not give him a window to get any sort of composure in the second game now. Insomnia lost the first one, they chose first pick, and it's not working out well for the Europeans.
Gold Fury, the call now from InControl. Gold Fury dead. That lead now already 6,000 almost. Over 5K in just 9 minutes in.
Shaolin is going to bring 3 members of Insomnia over to this right-hand side. He's always overextended, it feels like, he's Shaolin, but the rest of his team are doing work, and Insomnia just trying to pick up scraps where they can.
And this is the best scraps they can get, because even though Shaolin has already had 3 deaths, he's still gotten plenty of experience in gold from these global objectives, from his rotations, from his invades. So he's worth a good amount in comparison to the rest of Insomnia, so they're getting quite a bit by killing.
It's up to Beast. It's up to Beast, and it's up to Digit to try and bring Insomnia back into it, and Beast is trying to do his best now. Airstrike takes him away from the danger for a minute, and now JhoX coming in, has the blink available, and he's no ultimate available, but the blink, he could have got in range there for the root, I feel.
Maybe, but Outbound still had beads, so if he insta-beads the root, then you're probably out of danger.
Oh, but here comes a rotation from InControl, and Kino has met Agni in the jungle once more. Xcovi goes onto a rampage, 5-0-5 for the mid laner. And his teammate, once again, Rygaklu, was there for the assist to make sure he's 100% kill participation.
Rygaklu is looking like, you know, Andre the Giant in an all-you-can-eat buffet. I mean, my man is just eating wherever he pleases, whatever he pleases, and however much he pleases at this point. He's been a part of every kill so far for InControl.
I don't know how many kids these days who know who Andre the Giant was.
How could you not? The man is a monster.
I mean, a lot of people will be Googling now, I'm expecting, but he was a beast.
He was, his duo, his like tag team with Stone Cold Steve Harvey was legendary.
The Stone Cold Steve Harvey.
That's right.
Make sure you get that right. You can't get that name wrong ever.
Sure can't.
Otherwise, you'd have a feud on your hand, that's for sure. 12-6, so double the kills so far for InControl. The gold, again, is really monumentally large here. It's way more than you expect. Almost 6,000 gold at 11 minutes in. These are the sort of games that you really look at and go, well, guys, we're defending Phoenixes. Maybe a cheeky fire giant gets you back in the game.
Yeah,
that's where you're at.
You are talking about defending Phoenixes at this point. You're totally right. And to talk about it, their Phoenix defense for Insomnia
not terrible.
Isn't bad. I mean, the only thing they're lacking is wave clear. They don't have someone who can easily clear the wave. Zeus doesn't do very well at that because he has to be so close.
That's true.
But Lightning Storm is phenomenal as a defensive option, and you're going to need it at this point. I mean, it's getting ugly.
It's really putting a check for Insomnia to see exactly where they are on the stage of PlayStation now, and the console experience in general. InControl came out to play. Strategy seemed to have worked out perfectly for them in Game 1, and Game 2 going the same way. Now they're looking for a pick on Beast. Like the focus towards Beast, because he's one of the men that Insomnia really need to step up here to have a shot back into it.
Really good identification by InControl of where the potential comeback could be coming from, and trying to shut that down as much as possible. Still a 4-level lead for Xcovi.
And what's being looked at here by InControl to strip it away. Did an interesting job as JhoX on the right-hand side does get a blue buff of his own. Still only a level behind, I will say, over at Rygaklu with how this game's gone so far, but not been able to make the same sort of impact.
Really, the XP difference is just in mid and just in support, as
just
6 levels between the two of them or
yeah.
so. But you're still looking for Digit to do good work in these team fights. He's had plenty of support from the rest of the team over here in this solo lane, and they've been able to punish Shaolin nicely. So maybe he can get something going. As you've mentioned, Beast has been able to stay right where he needs to be, trying to keep Outbound down. So it's not all bad right now for Insomnia. It's just mostly bad.
Really impressed with Beast so far, though. I mean, he's been involved in a couple of gank attempts over and over again. Good use of his ultimate and his relics to make sure he stays safe. And he's not overextending too much. I'm scared of a caster curse coming through because xCovi's on the rotation here. And he could be in a bit of trouble if he's not careful.
Still has his ultimate. Oh, no, his ultimate is down. So, yes, he does need to be very careful. As Whoop gets Kino out of some damage, but sets him up for more. But JHOX blinking in.
And JHOX are going to blink in to try and help out his team. And Jose's there too, but no ultimate drop down by the Zeus player there whatsoever. InControl just scattered nicely. Kino gets away with his life, but it did cost him his ultimate.
Still cost Valkyrie's discretion out from Outbound and didn't get that kill. So maybe that opens up the door for Beast and JHOX to combine to bring Outbound down.
I love the call from InControl, though. Don't let this pressure start to siege as a team now. We have an experienced lead. Zeus isn't really in this game yet. He's not got the items to get involved and do damage, especially when the support is equal level to him. Beast forced out, and Shaolin's there to try and pick up the kill, but a good airstrike back to safety again keeps him alive. The tier 1 tower, however, different story.
Shaolin slams the fist down on JHOX. 350, it looked like, out of that, and gets the kill onto the enemy jungler. And InControl is a little bit poked, but still healthy enough if necessary.
Yeah, the Gold Fury's just respawned as well, and InControl might be returning there, but Digitbloze trying to get off what he can. He met the full might of the damage dealers of InControl and disappears to join JHOX in the base. InControl definitely could look at the Gold Fury, but granted, I'm quite impressed that they're just going to take it a bit easier and clear their own jungle.
That is the, hey, I've gotten lots of ganks in solo, so I'm big, right? Like, I'm doing pretty well.
Fight.
Oh. That's a level 14 Agni, who's 4-0 at that point.
So what happened in mid? Yeah, that's kind of what you do in that situation. Jose find out the hard way again as xCovi gets the kill with the bomb dropping down. Meanwhile, in the middle of this fight, Kino's juking around trying to stay alive as long as possible and avoid as much of this damage, but in doing so, he just hangs around for the melee characters of InControl to pick up the kill. Gold Fury next on the list. InControl
giving it up.
Doing things.
Give it up. Insomnia cannot contest there. InControl gets their second Gold Fury in just 15 minutes. That's an 8K gold lead, an 8K experience lead. And you got to feel for Insomnia, man. I mean, this has got to hurt.
Insomnia as well is the hardest thing to do is play from behind at such a deficit in a big game where it's your first LAN. How do you get through that? I mean, you've been a player yourself, right? How do you get through being down this much going, all right, everybody, nobody wants to speak because we're all upset.
Right.
But someone's got to try and get them back into this. This is like life or death at this point. The season's over if they lose this game.
Yeah, it can be tough. I've been there. I've been in a situation like this. I will never forget when we're up against the wall in Game 3 and then Uzi gets soloed by Soup Kitchen at level 2. I'm like, here we go.
Of all players, Soup Kitchen.
It's good. I know, right? Really? To Soup Kitchen? But it happened, and no one does want to talk, but you have to be the one to just keep on communicating. Just say everything you're seeing. You know, make sure you're hyping up your teammates in the moments where they do something that they need to be doing and are doing well. You got to take every little good thing as a major victory, because it doesn't. I mean, right now I'm going, yo, victory. Big play, Beast. Way to get that tower, man. I mean, it's little things like that seem ridiculous at the time, but it really does feel hopeless very quickly.
Really surprised by what I just saw out of Jose and JHOX in the mid lane then. You saw Outbound was sat in the middle of the lane and they're both sides of him as a Zeus and a Ravana, and they don't take the fight there knowing the rest of the team were on the right-hand side. A missed pick on an out-of-position Outbound there, in all honesty. A little bit overconfidence. Tier 2 on the left will go down by the looks of it for Insomnia here, but meanwhile, InControl have started the Fire Giant, and the only one around is Digit. He's not going to be able to do anything alone. He realized after the last time he went in, he's not got the tankiness just yet to weather the storm of the whole team.
Look, Fire Giant's going down for InControl almost no matter what Insomnia does. At least spend that time and get a Tier 2 tower on the left-hand side alongside the Tier 1. That's 2,000 gold for your team that at least gives you something. So I think that's the right call. Beast gets a little bit of something going in his team's favor alongside Kino, but it's almost certainly too little too late. I mean, 0-5 for both mid and support here for Insomnia. Those two are just too far behind. I mean, that is 8 levels between the two, or 7 levels now between the two in terms of deficits. So that's too much.
Yeah, support ones don't matter too much, but when it comes to the second relic, it really does have that little bit more of an impact. And you can see, actually, Joltak really going for it with the blink pickup here. This is overconfidence, I'd say. They wouldn't do this in a game that there was an even. You wouldn't be seeing a blink here, that's for sure. I'm talking about builds. Outbound going for the Book of Tough on the Freya. How do you feel about this Freya build?
I like it. I don't know that I
It's a
love
bit late,
the...
right?
Did he finish that before the Demonic Grip, or did he get Demonic Grip first?
I think he got Grip first, I believe.
Yeah, if you go Book first, if you start Ring 1, then build into Book, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Because you get it stacked early enough. He probably won't... I don't know if this game will still be going by the time he finishes those stacks, but Book of Thoth on Freya feels core to me because she does need base damage and a lot of damage in order to make her abilities do enough. And she can be very mana hungry in the late game. It kind of remedies both of those problems.
So now Insomnia only have this tier 2 tower left in the mid lane, and InControl will take that down. Insomnia, like I said earlier, we're going to be looking at the Phoenix defenses. They've got a good team fight around the Phoenixes. A lot of CC chains to keep them in range of that Phoenix to make it more impactful. But I think the tankiness of InControl could present a problem for them.
Oh, it will present a problem. As there's the blink from Joltak, lays down the cripple, stun as well, but no one else from InControl decided to blink in alongside him, so that blink goes to waste.
And that's why Artio blink isn't the greatest thing in the world, in my opinion. At least when you've already got engages from 2 other blinks, from Chulainn and Erlang Shen 2. InControl looking to put themselves into the DreamHack stage next weekend. They'll face off against Astral Authority if they do defeat Insomnia in this game.
Looking pretty good to do so. I mean, in order to lose this game for InControl, they'd have to lose 5 or 6 team fights in a row wholeheartedly.
I'd say they could lose 3 if it came around the Fire Giants. Fire Giant spawns at the same time.
I guess there is a Phoenix open on the left, but,
yeah.
but Graham, they still have the other 4 towers up and completely healthy. So that Titan would be too tanky. We can split the difference and say 4.
Yeah.
4 at least.
Yeah.
If they're going to lose this game. And
I'm being kind. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm the nice guy, you know? That's what I do. It's my thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that
always been so? Everyone knows it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought you were known as the Savage.
Oh, no, that's just what you guys seem to put on my name, and I don't think you understand what words mean. But you're American, so I get that too.
Oh, that's so
I guess
savage.
at the same time, though, I shouldn't be making fun of Americans, considering they are currently winning this game and this set so far on the PlayStation. Then we'll get to see them face off against their other North Americans if they do so at DreamHack. Later on today, we still have Xbox, which has got 2 teams competing there from North America and Europe once again to see if they can book their slot at DreamHack too.
Maybe Europe will do a little bit better in that second set.
We can only hope. Rygaklu blinking into the backline, looking straight at Zeus, who beats an Aegis, gets the ult up towards the backline of InControl, but Outbowned avoids most of the damage with an ult of his own. Jose get the first kill of the game for himself, as Shaolin, taking him a bit too long here, has overextended, and InControl are no longer in control. The overconfidence, this is one of the fights that Insomnia needed, and they keep their Phoenix alive and only lose 1 member in the process.
Both frontliners fall for InControl.
Greedy.
Just too greedy is right. In no damage whatsoever done to the Phoenix. And that's one of the few weaknesses of this composition for InControl, is that how are you going to be killing Phoenixes consistently? You need Outbound to have Polynomicon, and he does, but it just wasn't doing enough.
I think you're looking at Rygaklu having to do damage to the Phoenix because mages don't do as much to the aggro. They don't have the tower shred.
Right. And
Phoenix shred.
You're right, exactly. And like I said, Outbound with Polynomicon, maybe he can get it going, but he doesn't have Flat Pen, which is kind of the stat you need in order to deal damage to these towers as a mage. xCovi does a little bit, but you're basically relying entirely on Fire Giant, and Fire Giant may have fallen off, actually, by the time that engagement happened, because it's due to respawn in 15 seconds, or it was close to. So now you can try and get that Fire Giant again, and again, silver lining from last game.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, this was a prime position now for maybe in something to look for cheeky fire.
If they rushed it right...
If they win 1 more fight, I guess, like we said. That's why I said 3, because if they do it right at the right times, they could steal the next fight.
No. See, I meant 3 deicides without losing maybe
I meant
1.
defenses that turn into a Fire Giant that turns into towers back, gets them back in. But anyway, I digress. InControl now. Back at the Fire Giant once more. Insomnia just going to camp their Phoenixes, as you'd expect. They held the first time, but once again, Control get to try and adjust what they did wrong last time, correct it, and look to win the game.
Now you've got the Obsidian Shard done for xCovi. The Emperor's Armor for Joltak is huge. That'll really help out because, like I said, their Phoenix attack isn't that great. Well,
Kino did the right thing by picking up that as well, I feel like. He already had that for the defense anyway, to make sure that those Phoenixes were a little bit more empowered, but now that Joltak's got one, they nullify each other a little bit more so.
Yes, they do, and while there are items coming through still from Insomnia, they aren't those big, you know, Rod of Tahuti done for Outbound. You know what I mean? It's like the we got Heartseeker, but that'll happen once in this team fight. It's not going to be as good.
Speaking about the items too, I mean, JhoX here, he's gone for more damage after he's gone for the Crusher and then invested further into that tree. Is it worthwhile at this stage? Do you think going tanky would have helped a bit more here?
I do not.
Is it not worth it because of the levels?
So normally when you fall behind, tanky is better because it means that you're going to stay alive a little bit longer.
Sure.
You won't continue to fall so far behind. But eventually you hit the tipping point where you are so far behind that no matter what tankiness you build, it won't matter. So let's just try and kill them as fast as we can. And I think we have passed that for Insomnia, so I agree with JhoX's decision to go for damage.
A lot of the damage coming up from InControl, though, really is magical. Outside of Rygaklu, the other damage dealers are really the Agni and the Freya, so magical defense a little bit more awkward to try and get hold of. But as we've said, makes it very difficult to siege Phoenixes.
Blink in, Jose already down to half, but Shaolin does need to be careful here. He's getting shredded by Beast, but Jose already gone. Warcry puts him in the grave.
Shaolin did good work there. He will pay with his life, though, but one of the dealers is already dead. xCovi picks up Digit on the front side, however. So it's a 4-on-4 now. Sorry, 4-on-3, I should say, as Kino gets whooped up. And on landing, the chase is on. But JhoX goes into the back line to try and keep Outbound honest, and xCovi's there to assist once more. Kino doing what he can, but the Flame Wave brings him down, giving xCovi another kill, put him to 8. And Kino does pick up Joltak, but the Phoenix finally falls. The base is broken, and InControl trying to end here.
I don't know that they can, Graham. They don't have a minion wave quite yet, and Jose's coming up in 10 without a tank to tank this Titan.
Risky.
I don't know that they can do it. Yeah, they've got to back it up. InControl's damage dealers need to do a better job of helping their front line. And normally we talk so much about frontliners peeling for backline, but it's kind of a two-way street. I mean, Shaolin is really deep, sure, but get Rygaklu in there and take some of that damage for him. Absorb it, split it up a little bit. InControl is playing a little bit too individual based right now, and it's costing them their frontliners.
I do like what Outbound did, though. No hesitation, went straight into the ult and focuses all his damage towards the Zeus. He really set up Shaolin. Well, eventually Rygaklu got that kill under the Phoenix,
right?
But he was the one that did a lot of the burst damage that was required to make sure Zeus died after using the Aegis.
And Jose is, sure, doing Zeus things eventually, but he's still only level 16. I don't think that they need that much focus onto him. Kill Beast. Beast is the one doing a lot of damage to Shaolin at this point. He's the one who's level 20. He's got a Executioner. I mean,
single target versus AoE is the real difference there for me.
It
and
is.
Zeus's AoE causes so many problems.
It does, but at the same time, he's not doing a lot of damage with that AoE. And at least force Beast to use Airstrike to get away and then target switch onto Jose. It just feels like InControl is a little bit inflexible right now in the way that they're going about these games. It's, you know, we're going to go in with this plan. The plan is working flawlessly, but then eventually you have to be able to switch it up. And I think that it probably won't hurt them in this game, but it's something that I'd be looking at for this team as they prepare for what looks like a likely DreamHack birth.
Well, Insomnia pushed out the left-hand side for a while, but Rygaklu will go over there and make sure he pushes it back again with those fire minions. The rest of his team hanging around the mid lane. Only 3 members have the fire giant, but the good news is it's on the members that you want it to be on.
It is, the damage dealers. And maybe Shaolin and Joltak need a little bit of extra sustain, though.
That's true.
They're going to be missing that this time.
Double blink, double ult, and Jose under pressure drops the ult on the back line. Still going to get pressured out, picked up by Rygaklu's Outbound, takes to the sky to avoid JhoX, who has to ult away defensively. The middle Phoenix is down to about 75% health now. New minion wave coming in, and InControl looking like their namesake.
Shaolin down to about half.
Double
nice double pin. Knock up. Beast gets stunned and never gets up off the ground. 9 in a row for xCovi.
And InControl now with fire minions pouring in the left-hand side. This could be the game. The first PlayStation team to get to DreamHack and represent their console will be InControl, the North Americans.
No surprise, InControl looked like the best team in the PlayStation 4 basically all year long, certainly in North America, and now proving that they were better than any team in Europe as well. A dominating 2-game sweep for InControl.
Look cool, calm, and collected too, because they realize this is just one of the steps to trying to get themselves a ring at the end of this year at the DreamHack stage. Meanwhile, across the way, disappointed faces there.
InControl just came in a little bit too strong. Insomnia had a really good run, you know, played well during the online phases,
sleep,
but
right?
yeah, needed to figure something out, whether it was more sleep or whatever. This team just wasn't quite ready today.
I mean, they had good ideas about them. The start of game 1 looked pretty good when they got the initial ganks off with JhoX. Just wasn't good enough overall on the day.
That's right. And look, InControl, like I said, kind of came in as the favorite. I think xCovi being there and having such lane experience playing on the Xbox side gave InControl a big advantage.
Well, let's head over to the desk to break down that set and congratulate the North Americans.
Thanks, Hindu. Thanks, Aggro. And congratulations indeed go over to InControl after a dominant set here in the first game of the console wars. And Taco, you heard them saying they need to figure something out. We were just talking about it. Is it picks and bans? Could it be just that easy? Because in game 1, it felt like they didn't have enough pressure to follow up with other control. And in game 2, it felt like they didn't have any pressure anywhere.
Picks and bans was a large part of it. I don't think that it was exclusively the sole problem there for Insomnia. I think that just in general, InControl kind of just had Insomnia beat in every single department, whether it came to team fighting, mechanics overall, and of course the drafting. I think that InControl just checked everything off the list here, but just taking a look at how things started off in that banning phase, you would think that Insomnia got everything they were asking for. I mean, they first picked the Terra. It seemed like that was the real go-to. That was what happened to them in game 1, where InControl first picks that Terra. But the response from InControl is what I really want to highlight here. We were just discussing it. Freya, Artio immediately locked in as soon as that Terra pick came through. Not only two gods that are great for canceling out Terra's rooting factors, because she's not going to be able to have that dash into the monoliths and the like, and it just prevents so much of that Guardian's impact from ever beginning to take place. Yeah,
it was a double-edged sword. I think what you're alluding to there, right? Because they're losing the matchup in lane because of the interaction, right? Because of the cripple field, because of the banish. But also, they just have more pressure than them in lane because it's a Freya and it's an Artio, and that's free pressure for as long as you can expect. So they were able to pretty easily, I think, run over there in the dual lane. But the one that really stood out to me was that Erlang Shen in the jungle. Rygaklu had a great game in number 2 and really got out of control. I would say in game 1, probably Shaolin was the one that highlighted, but in game 2, it felt like all Rygaklu, to the point where his performance in game 2 and game 1 were so strong that we can give him the MVP, the Steel Series MVP, really just for the entire set. He looked excellent.
This Erlang completely dictated the entire pacing of the match, I would argue. It just felt like Rygaklu was exactly where he needed to be, exactly when he needed to be, and all those little last hit pickups that he got for the start eventually funneled into this heavy snowball lead. That's exactly what they were looking for with the Erlang. That turtle form knockup or the mink, it doesn't really matter. Just so much chase and dive down potential. Artio's cripple field also being a huge boon for the Erlang because it's just so hard to run away.
No, there's no way that you can get out of there, especially not when whatever you're expending is for the Terra. That kind of frees up all that room for the Erlang Shen to track you down. It really felt like they got so many priority picks in game 2, didn't it? The Erlang Shen, the Freya, the Artio worked out. XCovi back on the Agni again. And let's talk a little bit about XCovi here in this performance, because he may or may not have felt like maybe he needed some redemption. You know, he was the one that they, removed from the team, and we're saying maybe it was his fault. Well, after the performance he had today, I don't know how good you feel about that one. He looked excellent in both games on that Agni.
It's good to see XCovi back in the mid lane role. I think that's where he really belongs.
Yes, that's
he
part
had
of
a
it.
little, it's not just a phase, guys, going with the Hunter pickup transition, but I think on PlayStation he's certainly found his mold here in that mid lane position. Agni both games in a row, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't blame him for picking that pick up yet again, because it had excellent follow-up for all of Rygaklu's aggression, and that's exactly what they were looking for. And you have to feel bad for Jose, man. He gets the Zeus banned away from him in game 1. Game 2, he's feeling hot, he's feeling good. They get that Zeus locked in before the 3rd and 4th bans come through. And then he just gets destroyed, like completely obliterated the entire game because of this Erlang Agni pressure.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, there really just wasn't much that he could do in either one of these games. And I liked the way that XCovi went about it, too. He built aggressively, recognizing just how far out they were in front. And that's why InControl are the ones that are going to be moving on through to DreamHack just that easy. They win the set here, and they've punched their ticket. I got to imagine the boys are really excited after that win. Let's go ahead and get over to the interview and get some thoughts from InControl.
All right, InControl, congratulations on your victory. Is that the way you expected it to go? I mean, certainly the win, but we got done with that one pretty quick.
We basically knew that their jungle had a really small god pool, so that's why we target banned him. So as soon as those gods were out of there, we knew it would just win quick.
Composition-wise, picks and bans, anything unusual for you? Was anything a problem? Did you get what you wanted, really?
Yeah, we knew what we were gonna pick before. Yeah, we just played Terra, and
I was surprised they gave us Freya, but the game was over anyway, so it didn't matter.
Freya, but
Kobe, this one's for you. If you could step forward a little bit. I'm guessing that Astral Authority is the team you wanted to face the most at DreamHack, right?
Yeah, that'll be fun. Honestly, they're favored, but I don't think that anyone should count us out yet.
I'm going to follow up question on that then. If you don't want to count you out, what is it you guys are going to do that's, going to put Astral backs against the wall a bit more?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say much about that, but they haven't been getting much practice. I know that for sure.
Do you guys feel like your team can win the title this year? I mean, obviously the PlayStation 4 League is still, you know, a little bit new, but do you guys think you're ready this year?
I mean, obviously I don't think anybody thinks so, but I do think we have a shot, like, if nobody takes us seriously.
Awesome work so far. Last question, really. There's one more matchup going on today. I don't know if you've been watching that at all, or who do you expect to win?
Flashpoint.
Noxious.
No.
Flashpoint 2-0.
Not
2-0 Flashpoint.
Noxious 2-0.
Well, we'll find out. Congratulations on making it to DreamHack. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.